Okay, welcome back to our training tutorial here. Now in the previous tutorial we've actually created our simple event, and now we're going to go into this and show you how to sign up contestants for it and give them draw numbers. Now to kind of recap on this event, we actually set up the auto draw, so we actually had these options to right click and actually draw them up. So to actual sign up people, we want to actually left click on this event and go to edit signups. And right here, this is the actual screen to actually do your signups on. Now this is a new installation, so I know that I don't have any people in here, but in a good habit to get into is to go ahead and always search for the contestant. And the reason you want to do that is because if you have multiple computers connected in and they're both doing entries, sometimes somebody will fill out an entry form and you'll put them in, one person will put them in, and then all of a sudden they'll come back and say, hey, I want to enter again, so they'll fill out another entry form. And of course then somebody else gets it and you're like, oh well, it's new, and so you just create a new person, then next thing you know you have duplicated contestants. So in this, always say, hey, search for them first. So when you search for somebody, you either need to search, you can search for them a minimum of the first three letters of the first name or first three letters of the last name. So here I'm going to search for me. Can't find myself, so I'm going to create new contestant. So this is how you create your contestant on the fly. Now, I have a rodeogo ID, but I'm not going to use it in this scenario. We're going to pretend like this person, you don't know that they have a rodeogo ID. So we're going to hit the yellow plus. And for simplicity, we're just going to put the city and the state in. Now, in this scenario, we can actually send them email notifications or text message notifications. In this one, we'd actually put the mobile number in, and then they would be getting mobile or the text message notifications. If you put them in the email, they'll get email. If you do both, they'll get both. This depends on the contestant. Some training contestants who are trainers, they may sign up 6 horses. So getting that across a text message can be a lot of information in a text message. So that some of them will actually opt to just get it over email because then it's a little bit easier for them to view. So you can actually cater to your contestant. If you have a contestant that's getting text messages and they say, hey, I don't want a text message anymore, you just simply uncheck them here and they will not get it, but your other contestants will. So once I put in the basic information, I hit save. So now I'm going to come down to the horse. I'm just simply going to say this is horse 1. I want to tab off of there. I can right click anywhere in here. Usually it's easier to right click on the rodeogo ID. Now you have options here how to sign them up. You are the auto draw them. You have short, medium, long. When you're signing up the first horse, it does not matter. It's just going to go out there and it's going to randomly try to find them in the early part of the draw. When they have multiple horses, this comes into play, and I'll show you. So here I'm just going to draw short. I happen to get one. If I didn't like that for some reason, I can redo it and it'll give me another one. If I'm actually filling holes and gaps, I can actually say, hey, this person needs to be setting in hole 55. So here I'm actually going to just auto draw them. I'm going to take this out. If I want to get a clean draw again from the beginning, take it out and re-auto draw them short. Okay, now if they had a second horse, let's say I go ahead and have a second horse here, and they wanted, now this is where the short, the medium, long come into play. Short is going to go out there and put a minimum spacing of 15 in between their horses, their first horse that you've drawn, or any of the other horses, the last horse that you've drawn for them. Medium's going to put a minimum of 30 spaces, and long's going to put a medium of 45 spaces. So here I'm just going to say medium. Once I do this, I can actually come over here now and hit save sign up info. And now as you can see, I have horse 1, horse 2, here's their draw numbers, and if I had pre-draw notifications, they would have gotten a text right there. As you notice, paid is not marked. Paid is not a big deal to the system. This is more or less for you. So if I say I want to come back in here and I want to edit this, and I want to go ahead and use the pay function, I can actually just click them, hit save. They don't get retext because nothing changed. System is smart enough to know that if something changed, if it changes, it'll resend them out. That pre-draw notification text out if you have it enabled. If it didn't change, then it doesn't. Now the reason I do the paid report is because this right here, let's do this real quick. I'm going to go in here and set one of them to not paid. Say I wanted to track this. This does not have any bearing on the payout that the system uses. The system uses how many people actually ran a completed event or ran completed in your event to determine its payout, because we don't really care. This is more or less for your tracking piece. Some producers, they do text in entries, they do paper entries. This is just an added tool for you to track it. So here under reports, I can actually generate my not paid report. And what it gets, it tells me I've got one horse here that hasn't paid. Now when I'm over here, I can also, we've got a couple other reports. We've got our alpha sign up list, and here it'll tell you by alpha order, so you can post it. Some producers still post reports. As you become, more people become acquainted with rodeogo, we don't post reports as much because you have this website that's out there. It's constantly giving you, giving your contestants information. You also have the Avery labels for the stalls, the carryover details, sign up run list. This will actually give you a report that has actually the holes listed out on where you're missing your sign up pieces. So if you're trying to fill holes, etc. But it also gives you the ones who are there. Alright, so now you guys saw on this screen you have text message, resend, draw text messages. This is in case you have an internet system that is kind of a little bit sketchy, and for some reason they don't go out. You can re-click this, and any of them that didn't make it out, it will resend them out for you. Now from here, you can actually run the event from here. This is basically where you're just doing all that pre-draw, that chip drawing information. You're setting up your draw, you're kind of getting it ready. A lot of people who switch over from other systems at this point are thinking they need to post a draw, but what you find out here is rodeogo, technically you don't have to post a draw. You're already, see, I've already got 2 signups. When we're in real-time mode, it's already posting a draw for us. Where I can come over here to pre-draw, and you can see this person's there. Draw is not full to anything because we're not full. We've got 2 people enter, and those 2 people have holes in here. The true to, so for example, let's say I switch this person here, and let's, for demonstration purposes, let's say I did this. Oh, it's alright. So it was trying to tell me, hey, you already got somebody over here as a 3, but it was the same person. So I just hit save, and it'll kick back over. Now you can see I'm true to 1. Now true to 1 means, hey, I'm solid all the way to my numbers to 1. I've got a hole here at 2, and then I get to 3. Whenever you have this scenario, you can actually process true up. When you do not have a true to, you can't process beyond the true to with the true up. Process remaining entries will actually squish these 2 together and make horse 1 and horse 2 be number 1 and number 2. So process true up, process remaining entries. I get a lot from producers. When do we process these? When's the best time to do this? I usually say about, you want to try to start getting the true ups, especially in your bigger races, an hour, hour and a half before the event starts, because you got a lot of people out there, contestants, who are giving shots to horse Lasix, etc. And you want to get them that notification, hey, here's your draw, especially if you're not using the pre-draw notifications. So you don't want to really do this the days out and stuff unless you're closing books. Closing books is a different piece. Once you're not taking any more entries, you can process the remaining, close it up, solidify the draw, get it, all the notifications out there, get everything rocking and rolling, ready to go, and get your event down the way. In this scenario, you know, we're going to say we're leaving entries open to the last 25 runners, so we want to try to manage that because we don't know who's coming in. We have a lot of contestants that they run late, they're inconsiderate, whatever. They got 6 horses, they show up at the end, and they're like, hey, I want spacing between all these. And it's like, you're the last person signing up. So we try to leave it open so you can actually manage who, when, where, whys. But once you start pushing those people over into the real draw, rodeogo or the pro line tries to set this up, say, hey, this is what it is, let's get ready to go. But you can still modify it, but it's kind of more solidifying. So your event is going to be based off how organized you are, and you control your draw and getting things set up here. So in this scenario, once I hit process true up, let's say I was an hour out, I'm going to hit process true up. It's going to send them a draw notification. And if you notice, it only processed the 1 because the 3 is not ready. I don't have a number 2, so it can't process 3 unless I did process remaining entries. Once I hit process remaining entries, it's going to close the gap and send it over there. I can simply close this, jump over here to the run event, and in the run event you'll see run number 1, run number 2, it squished it. You can look at the announcer's report and see here it is. And once I process that, you can actually refresh rodeogo. It does it every so often, but if you notice the pre-draw is already refreshed. There's nobody in the pre-draw anymore. And now in the still to run, here they are. The real run list is actually posted. And it takes contestants a minute to get used to these different sections of rodeogo, the website, to figure out what's going to be, but they'll eventually they learn that the pre-draw, hey, this can change. It even says pre-draw subject to change. You would be surprised how many people miss that. And then you have still to run, which gives you that real run list, and it stays real time with what you're doing. Alright, so that concludes this one.